Hi, this is Crystal the Herbalist, and this is video 3 of 9 in the last series of videos, Be a Leader, How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment, based off the book from Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now this one is entitled Talk About Your Own Mistakes First. Now Dale Carnegie talks about how he had his niece, Josephine, come to work with him as a secretary. She was only 19, had been out of high school for 3 years, but didn't have any business experience. So when she started doing her duties, they were not up to par, at least in Dale's expectations. So one day he said that he had started to criticize her, but he said to himself, now just a minute, Dale Carnegie, just a minute. You are twice as old as Josephine. You have had 10,000 times as much business experience. How can you possibly expect her to have your viewpoint, your judgment, your initiative, mediocre though they may be? And just a minute, Dale, what were you doing at 19? Remember the asinine mistakes and blunders you made? Remember the time you did this and that? Well, after thinking the matter over, honestly and impartially, I concluded that Josephine's batting average at 19 was better than mine had been at that, and sorry to confess that wasn't paying Josephine much of a compliment. So after that, when he wanted to call Josephine's attention to a mistake, he used to begin by saying, "You have made a mistake, Josephine, but Lord knows it's no worse than the many I have made. You are not born with judgment. That only comes with experience. And you are better than I was at your age. I have been guilty of so many stupid, silly things myself. I have very inclination to criticize you or anyone, but don't you think it would have been wiser if you had done so-and-so? It isn't nearly so difficult to listen to a recital of your own faults if the person criticizing begins by humbly admitting that he too is far from impeccable." Now there are another good story about Wilhelm II and von Bülow, but I'm going to let you read that one. The bottom line is that admitting one's own mistakes, even when one hasn't corrected them, can help convince somebody to change his behavior. This was illustrated more recently by another person in Maryland when he discovered his 15-year-old son was experimenting with cigarettes. Now, naturally, I didn't want David to smoke, Mr. So-and-so's told us, but his mother and I smoked cigarettes, and so we were not giving him a very good example. I explained to Dave how I started smoking at about his age and how the nicotine had gotten the best of him, and now it was nearly impossible for him to stop. He reminded him how irritating his cough was and how he had been after him, his son had been after him to give up cigarettes not many years before. Now, he didn't exhort him to stop or make threats or warn him about their dangers. All he did was point out how he was hooked on cigarettes and what it meant to him. And because of that, he decided to, he thought about it for a while and decided he wasn't going to smoke at that time, that he would wait until after he was out of high school. Well, by that time, he decided not to ever smoke. And, so it goes to see that you don't necessarily have to warn and threaten and all that. Just admit, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing other people. I hope you've gained value from this, and I will be posting another one tomorrow, so I hope you're looking for it. Good health to you.